Hey everybody, it's Eileen. I decided I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to make gravy. Because one of the things that people have said to me for years is, I don't know how to make gravy. So I'm going to teach you how to make gravy tonight. Because if you're having roast beef, one must have gravy, right? So let me turn my light on, and I think that's going to work. Okay, so let me show you what I did is I cooked my roast is actually in my rock crock. Let me take it off the stove. No, the stove is not on. I did know enough better not to do that. Okay, so I made my used my rock crock to make my roast. And so what I did was earlier this afternoon I browned the roast in the rock crock on the stove top. Then I put it into the slow cooker base on high, and it's been cooking for a little over 3 hours. So I wanted to make sure that it was done. So I pulled out my thermometer. My roast is 200 degrees, so it is well done. But here's the nice thing. So I wanted to let it simmer a while because I wanted to have a really nice moist roast. So here's what's really nice, that the probe is in it, right? But if it was in the stove, in the oven, I could go ahead, that's less distracting. I could put it on the stove here, right, on my microwave. And the good thing is, I can look at it and the probe will go off after if I haven't used it for a while, and I can check it. And even if I'm baking in the oven, I know what the temperature of my food is in the oven without even having to open up the door, because every time you open the door, you're going to let the heat out. You don't want it that. Okay. And I can store it on the stove top. I know where it is, or my refrigerator, which is where I store it. Okay. So I'm going to pull this roast out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our meat lifters. So I'm going to actually, I don't have the stove on, remember that, okay? So I'm going to use our grooved cutting board here, and I'm going to use my meat lifter to lift my roast out. I'm just going to let this rest. You always want to make sure that you rest your meat for at least 10 minutes before you cut it up. The reason you want to do that is because you want the juices to go back into the meat. So that's why I'm doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the stove on. All right, so I'm going to turn the stove up on high. For anyone who's not familiar, this is my rock crock. Now, I love my Dutch oven rock crock. We also have the Everyday, which is half the size. And people go, how much smaller is it? If you look at the slow cooker base, right? The Everyday, which is 2.5 quarts, will come just level with it. This one here is twice as high. So when people have said, which one do you use? Well, I don't want it. So I could have used the other one. I would have been okay. I just pulled this one up. So the key to making great gravy, everybody, is you want to heat up your juice that you're using. It needs to come to a boil, and you're going to add water, and you can either use cornstarch, you could use tapioca, or you can use flour. Most people will use flour. I don't use flour because I am gluten intolerant and then I get sick, so not a great. So I use cornstarch. So what I did is, this is our new mix, measure, and pour. I added some water in it. I shook it up to make sure that there was no lumps. Then this is the key. You need to make sure that you are stirring your gravy when you add either your water and flour or your water and your cornstarch, right? And so as you're stirring it, it's going to come up the temperature. One of the nice things about my rock crock is, it is a glazed ceramic, is the fact that I can use metal in this just as well as I could go ahead and I could use one of our nylon tools in it. And the nice thing about our nylon tools is because of the fact, I'm going to actually grab it. Well, there we go. I'm going to grab my mix and mash. It's because it doesn't. But this is why I mix and mash. So the nice thing is that it isn't going to scratch your cookware, right? So if you're using a nylon one. I can also use this to make mashed potatoes, because I did also, the other thing I'm having to go with this is I made mashed potatoes and carrots, and they're over in the Rock Crock, and they're almost done too. So I went ahead and cooked those. 2 things and I'm done, right? So when you bring your gravy to a boil, it's going to thicken. If you go ahead and you stir it the whole time as it comes up to a boil, not only will it thicken, but you won't have any lumps. You need to be sure that your water is warm, and then you need to mix it. The other thing that I use lots of times, I used a bowl. That's, I'm just going to things all over. That's for my Airstream, for my soda stream. It's our little mini whip. We used to call this the Metamucil whip because so many people bought it to mix up Metamucil. Now it's any kind of protein drink, but actually I just get my Unrichables too. Okay, so let me tell you something else that's really nice while this comes to a boil. So this is our new mixed measuring pour, and to wash it, all I have to do is take the lid off. Here's the nice thing about this. I love salads, right? And the spring fruits and vegetables are all starting to come in. All those new fresh lettuce greens are so yummy, right? So what's nice about this is on the outside of the container, it tells you the recipe. There's a simple creamy dressing that has black pepper, salt, Dijon mustard, sugar, white wine vinegar, Greek yogurt, and buttermilk. Oh, and guess what? I have everything but the buttermilk. But not to worry. If you have a recipe that calls for buttermilk and you don't have any, just add some lemon juice or some vinegar to it, and it will turn into, because buttermilk really is, it's turned sour when it gets thicker, so you can do that. This other one is the creamy one. Then it also has a simple vinaigrette, and that one is white wine vinegar, Dijon mustard, honey, salt, pepper, and olive oil. Okay, so here's the other thing. You don't even have to get the measuring tools out. So, for example, this one here, my simple vinaigrette, it says I need white wine vinegar. So I put it to the white wine vinegar, measure out these things here. So I did a tablespoon and teaspoon measurement, and then bring it up to the line where it tells me where my the fill line for the olive oil, and then just hold this down, shut it up, shake it, and I'm set to go. But you might want some other recipes. So all you need to do is you're just going to pull out the recipes, yes, that come with it, and then you can either make a simple creamy dressing, a simple vinaigrette, a ranch dressing, a balsamic vinegar, and they're all in here, so right? And I could also make a honey mustard or an Asian vinaigrette. Why would I buy any when I could just make my fresh one? So how many of these? Well, you want in your house? Well, I don't know. How many of you different kind of dressings do you like to use? That would be what you would need, right? So I'm going to finish. I will have nice and thick. Oh, by the way, did you know that our Rock Crocks, that you could use them on a stovetop and a microwave, and you can bake with them and broil with them, and the slow cooker, of course, because that's how I made my meat, and you can use them on the grill. And did you know that we have a 2.5 quart, we have the 4 quart, which is the Dutch oven here, and we have an XL that's 8 quarts, right? And we even have flat round ones. So it's our grilling stone, so you could use it in the oven or on your grill, or even on top of a campfire, because these are heat safe to 750 degrees too as well. The Rock Crock has become absolutely one of my favorite things that I own in my kitchen. Okay, so let me show you guys what this is looking like. It's just about done. I'm gonna grab my little microwave ones. Some of you might have recognized these. They used to be red, now they're gray, which is pretty, but I used to call them my red lips. No, I have gray lips. I don't know if gray lipstick's in time, but look at how nice, oops, see how nice my gravy is? And it's all nice and boiled, and so now I have gravy to go with the roast. Here's the other thing. Any leftover, I can put into the Rock Crock, put it into the refrigerator, and then I can warm it up in the microwave stove or back on the slow cooker for any leftovers. This thing you need to have. Because how many times do you just want to start dinner and forget about it? Or maybe you need to get it quick. Into the microwave it goes. I tell you, it's a lifesaver. You gotta have a Rock Crock. So get a hold of me and let me know. Just contact me through pamperchef.biz/Eileen, B-I-Z /Eileen is E-I-L-E-E-N. So can't wait to hear from you. Bye.